All right. Let me get comfortable here. All right. There. You can see me. You can see my shirt. Got science. All right. Let me make sure we are live over on YouTube, because YouTube, geez, I sound like a broken record. StreamYard broadcasts to YouTube, and that's where everyone is watching over on YouTube. All right. Let me go over to my original channel and make an announcement over there in case anyone wants to watch and partake in this discussion. Okay. Yep, I can see myself on the original Big Discussions 76 channel. Let me give this a like. Okay. Mute this. All right, I'm muted. And let me share. Let's see. All right, I just shared it over there. So let me go back to Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology, so I can watch the data come in real time in terms of the likes and those kinds of things. All right, so I'm going to play the intro and I'll see you all on the other side. I'm going to try to keep this focused. I'm going to do some reading today, but I'm going to try to keep this focused. Let me get this out of the way. If anyone wants to donate to the channel, I don't have the super chat over here yet. I'm working on getting the watch hours up. But if you want to make a donation, my Cash App and PayPal are there. And I'll see you on the other side of this intro. All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. First of all, please like the stream, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, especially for those folks who are new here and who were brought here by the algorithm. You might want to click the notification bell across my 4 channels. I have quite a few people say, damn, I didn't know you were going live. I didn't get a notification. So I think you might need to click the notification bell so that when I go live, I know that there are some channels that I watch and I haven't clicked the notification bell for all of them, but for some I have, and I get an alert when they go live. So you might want to do that. All right, busy week. Very, very busy week. AB Media, what's going on? Thank you for stopping through. Salute at Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. AB Media, I appreciate that. I said in my live stream over on my original channel with David Lorenzo Glover, I said that audiences on YouTube are different. You have some folks who are here to who want to talk about the gender war. Some folks want to watch red pill content. Some folks want to hear about celebrity gossip. Some folks are here for sports. Some folks are here for politics. And I think there's a select few who are into science and technology related topics. There's a larger content creator who I'm subscribed to. He's very entertaining, very opinionated, and he said you have too many channels. You should consolidate down to one channel. And I had another content creator who said, no, keep doing what you're doing if it's your vision. But the content creator who told me that I should consolidate down to one channel, I think he was of the opinion that the majority of Americans are stupid and that science and technology topics will go over the head of the majority of our population. I don't know if that's true, but one of the things that I told Art Newstall TV last week when he interviewed me was that I think there's room for me to become a potential Neil deGrasse Tyson type, a science influencer. And I think that there's value in me being visible and not just sitting in my cubicle every day registering chemicals like a mouse on a mouse wheel. So here we are. Anyway, it's been a busy week. I have things at work to do, and I have a pile of things to do here for my own business. Speaking of my own business, please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter. This link is in the description box below. I am a writer and a YouTube content creator, and I'm finishing up a book project. I'm working my way through that. But I decided to start a newsletter to capture my video and print content for those who are interested in it. So there's a greeting there, and there's a subscription button at the bottom. There, you just enter in your email address. I plan to send this out monthly. So now that that's out of the way, so let's talk about my busy week. So part of my busy week involved going back into the office for the first time in 2 years. It's been over 2 years. So I did go back into, well, we have a new office now. But one of the things surrounding that is it still going on? The world event, the human health crisis, is it still going on? It seems as though in our country, in the United States, we're trying to move on from it, but reports from around the world are saying that it is still going on. And if you recall, last week there was a big hoopla over the face covering mandate being removed from um, airplanes and trains and subways and those kinds of things. So the question is it still going on? And if you're going back into the office for the first time, or if you've been going back into the office, that's an important question. So I'm going to start this off with a report about what's happening in South Africa. And then I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes of this discussion, which involves kidney donation and kidney transplant. I have 3 short things to read regarding that, and then I have a letter that I think that I'm going to read at the end. So for all of you who hang out for this, I appreciate you. For those watching, please shout yourself out in the chat. And if you have questions for me, let's make this interactive. If you have questions for me, let me know. And for all my tech guys out there, we're going to get back to the tech stuff shortly. I actually just published 2 pieces this week from collaborators / customers on machine learning and cloud security / cloud safety, or recovering your data when there's a cloud disaster. So in any case, let's see what's happening in South Africa regarding the world event / world health crisis that I think we're trying to get out of, but that I'm not sure we're out of. So let me enable my screen share. And this comes from Yahoo News. And this is entitled, South Africa is being hit hard by the C word again. Here is what that means for the United States. So those of you who have been following me, I'm not going to say all of these words verbatim because the algorithm is looking for certain words. And if you are perceived to be going against guidelines of any kind, they will snatch the video down and they may snatch your channel down. I'm speaking from experience there. So this was written by Karen Weintraub from USA Today, and it was published yesterday, or maybe it was updated yesterday. Sometimes things get published and they get updated. Please hit that like button if you're just coming in. Even if you're coming in and hopping back out, please hit the like button. That helps with the engagement. All right. The contagion. Cases of the contagion are skyrocketing in South Africa as they did in the earliest days of the outbreak. It's too soon to know whether that will have any implications for the United States, but the O variation exploded here right after Thanksgiving, only a few weeks after it took off there. The particle spreading in South Africa are variations of the O, dubbed B.4 and B.5. Crystal Tootle, a fellow alumnus of Johnson C. Smith University. Crystal, did you end up finishing in biology / chemistry, or did you transfer to something else? I don't recall because I graduated before you did. Anyway, the original O variation, called BA.1, now represents only 3% of the cases in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control data. It was pushed out by BA.2, which accounts for 68% of current infections, and BA.2.12.1, which is approaching 30% of cases nationwide after arising in New York State. Speaking of New York State, I have 2 buddies up there who are very, very adamant about getting rid of the face coverings. So it sounds like it is ramping up in New York State, but there are a lot of folks who want to get away from the face coverings. The irony of life. Nearly 60% of all Americans and 75% of children have been infected with the contagion that causes C19 since the world event began, the CDC said Tuesday. Again, I'm speaking in code, so you'll have to kind of piece together what I'm saying. The link is in the description box. Please hit that like button if you're just coming in. BA4 and BA5 have arrived in Texas. And like the other U.S. states, Dr. Jacob Lemieux, an infectious disease specialist at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston, said in a call this week with media. But the new variations currently account for only a tiny fraction of American cases, and it's too early to know whether they will be any more dangerous or will evade immunization protection. We'll see what the impact is and if they outcompete other variations here. Lemieux said they do look a lot like the other O variations that are circulating. So we would hazard a guess that some of their properties would be similar, but we don't know. It does have a bit of a flavor of here we go again, he added. Okay. So many people are getting infected in South Africa that many almost certainly already contracted O or other variations, showing that reinfection is possible, if not likely. Undoubtedly, reinfection is now a common feature of the contagion syndrome, Lemieux said. It's impossible to tell at this point which combination of infections and immunizations are most protective against each variation. Lemieux said, because there are so many possibilities, with some people immunized and infected once, multiple times, or not at all. About 30% of about 30% of the South African population has been immunized, with many more of its 60 million residents infected. These fast spreading contagions have a growth rate advantage that also allows them to outpace the immune system's ability to fight them off, even in people who have previously been immunized or infected. Lemieux said, infected. These are highly infectious contagions that will take every opportunity to transmit and cause epidemics, he said. We're seeing that in South Africa right now. We're seeing that also across the world where cases are going up. The United States cases have been climbing in recent weeks after dropping since their mid-year January peak, according to data from the CDC. All right, we're almost done here. Please hit that like button. Hey, really, Chris, thank you for stopping through. Always good to see you show up in the chat. A new variation or subvariation is declared when the contagion causes C19 accumulates genetic mutations. O has more than 30 genetic spots that are different from the original contagion, which may explain why so many immunized and previously infected people were able to get infected. When asked whether these new variations are now as contagious as measles, which holds the title of the most contagious disease known to affect humans, Dr. Jeremy Lubin, a molecular medicine expert at the University of Massachusetts Medical School, nodded yes, we're approaching the range of the measles contagion, he said. Lemieux essentially agreed, but said a comparison isn't quite that simple. I think at this point, it's kind of like who's faster, excuse me, a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, he said. Unless you get these on the same racetrack on the same day, you may not be able to directly compare them. Only time will tell whether the story of O's race around the world will be repeated with the BA4 and BA5, Lemieux said, but he's anxious and worried that without Congress devoting more money to fight this world event, the United States will be unprepared for another large outbreak. We are starting We are staring down a fifth wave, he warned. All right. So that's that. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Again, it seems like the news cycle has kind of moved on. We're in a potential monetary / economic crisis. Okay. We have a conflict on the other side of the world. We have high gas prices, though some would argue that we're spoiled here in the United States, and the gas prices that we're experiencing are nothing compared to the gas prices in other countries. So there's a lot to keep our eyes on right now. And if you're an individual like myself, whose place of employment is encouraging people to come back to the office and get on public transportation, and also if the world is opening up, people want to travel, people want to go to concerts, people want to go back to church, people want to get in the gym, people want to do a lot of things, and people don't want to wear their face coverings anymore. And then there are a lot of people who never wanted to get immunized in the first place. So the question is, going forward, where does that leave us? We know that China clamped back down. I'm using a synonym for what we did and what was done. China clamped back down on their population, which may be helping our fuel costs right now. And South Africa's having these increased numbers. So what does this mean going forward in the future? Someone on Twitter speculated that we're going to have another clampdown here, but our country doesn't have the money for that. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? But there's an update on what's happening in South Africa. So let's see. My brother, the great Amal Dunbar, he says, "Hello, Dr. Dunbar. Dad and I are watching. Hey, hello to you guys in Buffalo. Everybody, my father is my brother, he's done a lot of the artwork for my stuff. My dad is a retired educator and a retired science teacher. So he has a background in physics. So Crystal Toodle says, I graduated in biology and chemistry. Okay, so you were a dual major. Crystal says mechanical kidneys. I don't know what that means. Herb, the big bad wolf, is here, says, thank goodness I don't have to drive. He says, see travel restrictions in the future. I don't know, Herb. People want to get rid of those face coverings and they don't want them back. So I don't know where this leaves all of us going forward into the future. So folks want to travel, folks want to do all kinds of things. Where does this leave us? Okay. So the meat and potatoes of this discussion. For those of you who haven't been following me, I did 2 videos on the kidneys. I did an introductory video to the kidneys, and then I did a short follow-up. Well, both of them are short, but I did a follow-up on kidney injury and what happens when things go wrong with our kidneys. And there are whole textbooks on the kidney. There are whole lectures. There are whole scientific journals on the kidney. So I wouldn't dream of covering everything here on my YouTube channel. But as a pharmacologist / toxicologist, we did receive, we did take coursework, we did take classes on physiology, and a part of those courses included renal function. So, and as a matter of fact, in the clinic, one of the things that doctors and nurses and pharmacists have to gauge is your kidney function, because your kidneys and your liver, they play a role in how long a drug or a toxicant remain in your system. So they're very, very important organs. I left the links to those videos below in case you want to watch. But for the sake of this discussion, just keep in mind that our kidneys are critical. They do several things, but they're critical in keeping our blood clean. So they filter out all of the aqueous, water soluble wastes from our bloodstream, while all the things that we need stay in circulation. I'm going to pull a picture up really quickly so you guys can see this. And then I'm going to talk about why I'm covering this. Please hit that like button, even if you're just jumping in and jumping out. Please like the stream. Where's that nice, pretty picture? There it is. Yeah. All of us have fallen down and scraped a knee or taken an elbow in a basketball game, or maybe you've had surgeries. I've had two. And it's important during surgeries that the surgeons keep extra blood on hand just in case. Fortunately, my surgeries have gone smooth. But it looks red when you bleed. It looks red in the bag when they bring it into the operating room. But your blood is actually made up of all these different things here. Plasma, platelets, red blood cells, white blood cells, which consist of lymphocytes, basophils, eosinophils, monocytes, and neutrophils. So all those are in your blood, and your blood is circulating around your body constantly. All the cells in your body are respiring, and they're creating gaseous waste, and they're also creating liquid wastes. That waste has to go somewhere, and obviously we exhale the carbon dioxide that's generated by cellular respiration. But the aqueous, water soluble wastes, those have to be discarded by our kidneys. And if your kidneys shut down, those wastes will build up, and you will ultimately die. So that's why individuals who are experiencing kidney disease or kidney kidney injury of any kind, they only have two options. Either they can go to dialysis or they need a transplant. So someone in my circle about 2 months ago, I wanted to do this a lot earlier, but I just have so much to do. Her son, I'm going to read the letter at the end of this, but her son unfortunately needs a second transplant. He had one kidney transplant, and unfortunately circumstances arose where he needs another one. I don't know if he got it, but she sent a letter around and asked me to share it in my circle. And I thought that the most good I could do, or the best way I could help, is to, talk about it here. And it gave me an excuse to talk about what the kidney is and what the kidneys do. So before I read that letter, I'm going to read some background information on kidney donation and kidney transplant. So this is going to be a bit of a an awareness raising exercise here. So because I don't know a lot about organ donation, other than the recipient has to accept, the immune system of the recipient has to accept the organ which is coming from another person, and I'm going to talk about that shortly. So this page is from the National Kidney Foundation. It is entitled General Information on Living Donations. Let's all learn about this together. Again, please get those likes up. If anyone wants to donate to the channel, my Cash App and PayPal are here. I don't have enough watch hours yet for a super chat. So I am working towards that. So that information is there, and I'm going to pull this up. These are all short. Of course, I always say that, and the thing ends up being long. So this is, yeah. And, as I was thinking about this, as my friend, after she sent that letter around, I was thinking that, deciding, most of us are born with two kidneys. Hold on, I'm seeing my antenna thing there. I have my my Ethernet cable plugged in, but every now and then StreamYard gives me the two antenna things, which means a low reception. Just bear with me. Okay, it's gone. So most of us are born with two kidneys. Someone I follow over on my entertainment and media channel, Chris Gore, who's a fanboy. My brother knows what that means, a fanboy or a movie buff. He shared in one of his live streams that he was born with one kidney. But most of us are born with two. And I was thinking that the decision to donate a kidney to someone else is a very, very complex decision, because then you're only left with one. And then what happens if something happens to your one? I mean, ideally, everyone is magnanimous and has a giving heart, but I'm just saying that it occurred to me that this is a very complex thing. If you should not take your health for granted, and being able to do a number one, you assume that you'll be able to do that, but what if you end up having to go to dialysis? So it's a complex decision, because then you'll only have one. Anyway, this reads as follows. Please hit that like button. I saw some folks come in. Let's see. General information on living donation. Living donation in C19. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. What is living donation? Living donation takes place when a living person donates an organ or part of an organ for transplantation to another person. The living donor can be a family member, such as a parent, child, brother, or sister, parentheses, living related donation. And those are often the prime candidates, a sibling or a relative. Living donation can also come from someone who is emotionally related to the recipient, such as a good friend, a spouse, or an in-law, parentheses, living unrelated donation. Thanks to improved medications, a genetic link between the donor and recipient is no longer required to ensure a successful transplant. In some cases, living donation may even be from a stranger, which is called anonymous or non-directed donation. What organs can come from living donors? The organ most commonly given by a living donor is the kidney. Parts of other organs, including the lung, liver, and pancreas, are now being transplanted from living donors. I didn't know that. Who can be a living kidney donor? To donate a kidney, you must be in good physical and mental health. As a general rule, they have this highlighted in purple. As a general rule, you should be 18 years or older. You must also have normal kidney function. There are some medical conditions that could prevent you from being a living donor. These include having uncontrolled high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, HIV, hepatitis, or acute infections. Having a serious mental health condition that requires treatment may also prevent you from being a donor. Someone asked me about hepatitis last week, so I'll probably do a stream or a pre-record on that soon. What are the advantages of living donation over deceased donation? Kidney transplants performed from living donors may have several advantages compared to transplants performed from deceased donors. Some living donors transplants are done between family members who are genetically similar. Better genetic match lessens the risk of rejection. A kidney from a living donor usually functions immediately because the kidney is out of the body for a very short time. Some deceased donor kidneys do not function immediately, and as a result, the patient may require dialysis until the kidney starts to function. Potential donors can be tested ahead of time to find the donor who is most compatible with the recipient. The transplant can take place at a time convenient for both the donor and the recipient. I don't know if you all recall, in New York State in the 1990s, when I first got my driver's license, there was there was language on the back of the license that said, "Do you want to be an organ donor?" So at that time, I didn't really know what that was for. But for people that say, yes, I'll do it, as soon as they pass, I believe that they extract the organs, put it on ice, and then transplant it to someone who needs it. So, are there different types of living donations? There are two main types of living donation: directed donation. This is when the donor names a specific person who will receive the kidney. It is the most common type of living donation. Directed donations are often between blood relatives like parents, siblings, or children. They can also occur between people with close personal relationships, such as a spouse, friend, or coworker. For more information, click here. Non-directed donation, this is when a person does not name a specific person who will get the kidney. In this case, the donor is paired with someone in need. For information, click here. Are transplants from living donors always successful? Although transplantation is highly successful and success rates continue to improve, problems may occur. Sometimes the kidney is lost to rejection, surgical complications, or the original disease that caused the recipient's kidney to fail. Let me read that again. Sometimes the kidney is lost to rejection, surgical complications, or the original disease that caused the recipient's kidney to fail. Okay. Talk to the transplant center staff about their success rates and the national success rates. How long does a transplanted kidney last? On average, a kidney from a living donor lasts about 15 to 20 years. Some will last longer, others might last less. Where can I find statistics related to living donation? You can find some statistics on the United Network for Organ Sharing, or UNOS, the UNOS website. UNOS compiles statistics on every transplant center in the United States. To view all UNOS data, click here. You can find statistics on the number of non-living and living donor transplants performed at that particular center, respectively, and the graft survival rates for the transplant recipient. The best source of information on expected donor outcomes is your transplant team. Talk with them about general risks, including long and short term, as well as any specific concerns you have regarding your personal health status. Okay, so that's just an introductory page. These other materials are short, so I'm going to read those. Corrine says, here for this important discussion, like and share. Yep, there are a lot of people dealing with kidney disease, and there are a lot of people who become afflicted with it later on in life. So I hope that that's something that I never have to deal with, because again, the only two solutions are get a transplant from someone, and your body has to accept it. And I'm going to talk about that. Or you have to go to dialysis and get your blood filtered at a center every week. Crystal says his body may have rejected the kidney due to other genetic factors. I'm going to get to that. And Corrine says, yes, on my New York State license, it says that. Yep, I have a Virginia license now, and it doesn't say that. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this one and then go to this one. Let's see, we're at 40 minutes. This one is entitled 10 Things You Should Know About Living Kidney Donation. And this is, I found this on the University of Utah website. This is below. Let me take a sip of my water here. This first subheading says, can you live with one kidney? I can tell you the answer is yes, because I've heard about this before. When most of us think about kidney donation, we think of checking a box on our driver's license in case of an accident, but you don't have to be deceased to donate a kidney. Being a living kidney donor is actually more common and safe than you might think. Living kidney donations save thousands of lives each year. What do you know about being a living kidney donor? So here are some facts about being a living kidney donor. Number one, living kidney donation is the best option for people who need a new kidney. Many living donors don't want their loved ones to wait months or even years for a kidney on the national transplant waiting list. Transplant surgeons have successfully performed living kidney donation surgeries since the 1950s. In fact, donating a kidney is the most common living organ donation. 2, living kidney donation is safe. If you are healthy, donating a kidney won't make you more likely to get sick or have major health problems. Like any surgery, the procedure does have some risks, but overall, living kidney donation is safe. In most cases, donating a kidney will not raise your risk of kidney disease, diabetes, or other health problems. 3, you don't have to be related to someone to donate a kidney to them. In fact, 1 in 4 living organ donors is not biologically related to the recipient, parentheses, the person who receives a donated organ. Spouses, in-laws, close friends, church members, and even members of the same community can all be living donors. It's true that family members have a higher chance of being a good match, but living donor transplants are more successful compared to kidneys from deceased donors because these kidneys came from living donors. You don't need both of your kidneys to stay healthy. So that gets back to what I was just talking about in terms of uh, coming to a place of comfort when donating one of your working kidneys. It might surprise you to learn that your body doesn't need 2 kidneys to perform an important job, removing waste and regulating your metabolism. After donating, your remaining kidney will take on the work of both kidneys. 5, your blood and tissue type must be compatible with your recipients. I'm going to talk about that next. Besides being healthy, a living donor must have compatible blood and tissue types with the kidney recipient. The transplant team will perform tests to see if your blood and tissues are compatible, um, or if they are a healthy match with the kidney recipient. If they aren't, our living donor program can also educate you about the paired donation program. 6, you'll have tests, screenings, and evaluation to make sure you're a good match. The transplant team will perform psychosocial and medical tests to help ensure you will stay healthy after your donation. Some tests you will have include blood tests, urine tests, imaging exams, and cancer screenings. 7, your hospital your hospital stay will be short, and you can get back to work fairly quickly. Most living kidney donors stay in the hospital for 0 to 1 day. Depending on what you do for work, you can return to work as soon as 2 weeks or as late as 8 weeks after your surgery. You also shouldn't shift anything heavier than 10 pounds for the first 6 weeks after your surgery because they're making an incision in your back. You can still have a baby. Donating a kidney won't make it harder for you to get pregnant or deliver a baby. Living kidney donation doesn't cause fertility problems in women or men. Still, women should wait 1 year after donating a kidney before they get pregnant. This gives your body plenty of time to heal. 9, you can talk to someone who's donated before. Our Living Kidney Donor Program can help you speak with someone from our program who has donated a kidney. Donors often find it's helpful to talk with another donor about their experiences. And number 10 is you don't need to live in the same location as your recipient. You can live anywhere in the country. Most of your testing can be done at a lab or hospital near your home. Your surgery will take place at the University of Utah Health. There's also organizations that can help you pay for travel costs. Okay. And then I'm going to end this talking about what it means to be a match for someone. So let's first talk about the different blood groups. If you have questions or comments there in the chat, please go ahead and, whatever you have to say, let me know. That way, this is more interactive, and I appreciate everyone who is here hanging out. I'm going to read something about who can donate to whom. But first, let's go over the blood groups. Okay. And I'm just going to read these 3 sections here. Let me just take a quick look at this. Let me take a sip of my water here. Okay, this is from the NHS. So this is from the UK, but it applies over here too. So the blood groups. Please hit that like button. The likes are free and it helps with the engagement. There are 4 main blood groups or types of blood: A, B, AB, and O. Your blood group is determined by the genes you inherit from your parents. I meant to look it up before I started this stream. I don't have my blood group memorized. I think it's online in my the portal for my primary my primary care doctor. So I think they keep all the records online. So I don't know which one I am. Each group can be either Rhd positive or Rhd negative, which means there are in total there are 8 blood groups. Antibodies and antigens. This concept of antibodies and antigens, this is pretty universal. This came up in my discussions about the immunizations for the current human health crisis. So this applies everywhere. This has applications in multiple aspects of human health and medicine. Blood is made up of red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets in a liquid called plasma. Your blood group is identified by antibodies and antigens in the blood. Antibodies are proteins found in plasma. They're part of your body's natural defense. They recognize foreign substances such as germs and alert your immune system, which destroys them. Antigens are protein molecules found on the surface of red blood cells. So I'm just going to read this and then I'll transition on. The ABL system. There are 4 main blood groups defined by the ABL system. Blood group A has A antigens on the red blood cells and with B antibodies in the plasma. Blood group B has B antigens and anti-A antibodies in the plasma. Okay. Blood group O has no antigens, but both anti-A and anti-B antibodies in the plasma. Blood group AB has both A and B antigens, but no antibodies. Okay. I'm going to read these couple of paragraphs and then I'll stop. I will leave this link below if anyone wants to go back and read it. It'll be in the description box. Blood group O is the most common blood group. Almost half of UK population, so this is for the UK, 48% has blood group O. Receiving blood from the wrong ABO group can be life-threatening. For example, if someone with group B blood is given group A blood, their A antibodies will attack the group A cells. This is why group A blood must never be given to someone who has group B blood and vice versa. As group O red blood cells do not have any A or B antigens, it can be safely given to any other group. The NHS Blood and Transplant website has more information about the different blood groups. The RH system, I don't know what the RH system is. Okay. So apparently there's another antigen called the Rhd antigen. I'm not going to read that right now. But let's go on and let's go back to the kidney. I just wanted to use that to introduce this next section. Yeah. So what blood types match? This is a little complicated. That's why I wanted to read that previous page before this. So what blood types match? In living donation, the following blood types are compatible. Donors with blood type A can donate to recipients with blood types A and AB. Okay. Donors with blood type B can donate to recipients with blood types B and AB. Donors with blood type AB can donate to recipients with blood type AB only. Donors with blood type O can donate to recipients with blood types A, B, AB, and O. So, in other words, recipients with blood type O can receive a kidney from blood type O only. Recipients with blood type A can receive a kidney from blood types A and O. Recipients with blood type B can receive a kidney from blood types B and O. Recipients with blood type AB can receive a kidney from blood types A, B, AB, and O. AB is the universal recipient. Recipients with AB blood are compatible with any other blood types. Now, I have to be honest that I'm going to have to think about that, all that in terms of donating a kidney. All those relationships, I'm going to have to think about that in order for that to make sense in my mind. That's a lot to digest there. But that's the rationale behind who can donate to whom and whose body will receive a kidney from whom. So let's see, we're at 53 minutes. I'm going to read this letter and then I'm going to shut the stream down. In this letter, and my friend, I'll just call her D. You're going to hear her son's name. They were the inspiration for me doing this stream. So this is just to raise awareness and get the word out about this kidney transplantation and donation thing. Let me see if I can share this here. If not, I'll just read it and you guys can listen to me talk. Let's see, share screen. Yeah, I can. And so now, let me see. Okay, there's a lag. The letter's showing as a black screen here in my backstage. And I don't know if you guys can see this. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read this. This reads as follows. This is a page long. Oh, this is a long letter. Dear friends and family, if there's one thing I can say about Travis Richardson, that's my friend Dee's son who needs the transplant, is that he is one of those people who everyone likes from the moment they meet him. He can talk to anyone about anything, music, sports, movies, you name it. What he won't talk about, however, is how he was born with IgA nephropathy. So I talked about that in my last kidney video, IgA nephropathy or Berger's disease. Okay. Short for immunoglobulin A, it is a condition where the IgA protein deposits in the filters of the kidney and blocks them, causing kidney failure. What Travis will never mention is how this manifested itself in high school. So by the time he was in college, he was on dialysis. While his friends were moving out and creating memories, he was tethered to a dialysis machine in his mom's house for 9 hours a night. I met Travis while he was on dialysis, and as our friendship grew, he eventually had to tell me about his condition when he couldn't do ordinary activities like go to the beach or jump in a pool. He showed me the tube coming out of his abdomen and the caution he had to take in its care. Unfortunately, a year later, that tube would get infected and he was in the hospital for weeks. The priest coming in his room several times to prepare for the worst. What Travis also won't mention is how he fought through the infection and made it out of the hospital. He continued to go to school, found the strength to hang out with friends, even visited me in Miami while I was in grad school. His first time on a plane since he began dialysis 5 years prior. And that December 9th, 2009, his sister gave him a second chance at life by donating her kidney. For 11 beautiful years, Travis made the most of his precious gift, completing his degree, starting a career in the music industry, and taking his first of many international trips. We moved from DC to Los Angeles in 2018 and rode our bikes up the highest mountains in Malibu. He did not waste a day idling. That is until February of 2021. In the midst of the pandemic that was taking a toll on everyone, Travis's donated kidney failed, and he had to return to dialysis. At only 38 years old, he is once again tethered to a machine for 4 hours, 3 times a week, leaving him physically exhausted, mentally worn out, and spiritually depleted. We are doing the best we can to keep our spirits high, taking weekend trips here and there, going on bike rides to coffee shops, and celebrating the little things, whether it's completing paperwork or having a positive doctor's appointment. Nevertheless, dialysis is draining and a hardship that affects every aspect of life. Despite all this, Travis's strength astounds me. He maintains a demanding full-time job, immerses himself in sports and video games during treatments, and maintains an overall positive attitude. He doesn't break down when he can't go to the concert during dialysis or on the 4-day vacation because he missed a treatment. He is doing the best he can with the hand that life has dealt him. This is everything Travis won't tell you because this is who he is, which can only be recognized by those around him and everyone he's touched over the years. He wants to learn, to travel, to ride his bike, and that is a definition of living life to the fullest. The gift of life is one that Travis did not take lightly when he recovered from his infection or when his sister donated her kidney, and it is one he will treasure once again when the time comes. We understand that the decision to donate is not always easy, but seeing the impact on another person's life is insurmountable. As Travis's sister said, donating my kidney did not feel like a sacrifice, but instead an opportunity to be blessed. It also forged a bond that is unbreakable. While free to donate, it is a priceless experience for everyone. Below are links about donating a kidney, and if you would like to get tested to see if you are a match for Travis. Please feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns if you'd like to meet Travis to learn more about him and his condition. We will never turn down a chance to talk over a cup of coffee. So I left these links below in the description box. And it says to see if you're a match for Travis, contact Veronica Sills, transplant coordinator, at 310-267-6920. and Connie at the Connie Frank Kidney Transplant Center at UCLA, 200 Medical Plaza Driveway, Suite 565 in Los Angeles, California, 90095. And there's the email address for Travis Richardson and Susie Danzig. Okay. So I just wanted to do this to kind of raise awareness. Again, this is a decision, that everyone would have to make on their own. It's a serious decision for the person receiving the transplant and also for the donor. If you're spiritual, it's probably something you'd have to pray about and come to peace with. And yeah, something you'd have to pray about and come to peace with and see if that's something if that's something you're willing to do for someone else. So that's what I wanted to say. I'm going to take a sip of my water here. I don't intend to keep the stream going for much longer. If anyone has anything else to say in the chat there, I have a few people watching. Speak now or forever hold your peace, or until we talk next time. If you're just coming in, please hit the like button. I'm winding this down shortly. I'm going to take a second and hydrate my mouth here. If you have any comments or questions, comments, jokes, me and Crystal Tootle went to Johnson C. Smith University together, and there was a professor there, the late Dr. Phil. He used to say that questions, comments, jokes, anything. So, okay. Yeah. So if you haven't seen, I didn't get into the specifics of how kidneys work and what they do. You can go ahead and watch the 2 pre-records I created on the kidneys. The first one is an introductory discussion. The second one talks about what happens when they fail. And I mentioned Iga Nephropathy in that video. And I think I mentioned, what else did I mention? I mentioned one other disease state in that video, but I also pointed out that there are certain drugs like NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, that you're only supposed to take for a certain amount of time because those can cause those can cause kidney injury. So there are natural causes, there are disease states like IgA nephropathy, there are drugs and there are toxicants that you can ingest. I think lead, some of you all may remember the Flint water crisis, where I believe there was lead in the water. I believe when you ingest lead, I believe it deposits in your kidneys. So that's kidney toxic. So there are a lot of things out there that can injure your kidneys. And if your kidneys become injured, and if they fail, I just said Dr. Phil. If your kidneys fail, you only have 2 choices at that point. You can go on dialysis, or you can look for a transplant. So, yep, Crystal Tootle remembers Dr. Phil. He was very, very passionate about the environment. He was very, very passionate about trees and things that grow from the ground. But he was also very passionate about students learning to write. So, darn it, I just shook the table. One of the upgrades I'm going to make is to get a nice firm desk so that the screen doesn't shake like that. But she says, my favorite yet hardest professor. Yeah, the professors in our biology department, they were pretty hard on us, but they were hard on us for a good reason. I say that all the time. So anyhow, I'm gonna wrap this up. I plan to go out for an early dinner, then go to the cigar lounge. I was gonna go to the cigar lounge last night, but I got there too late, and I was beat from the week. That day that I went into the office, I I was tired after that day. Um, so my intent is to get to the cigar lounge and relax tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching. I saw a bunch of folks come in and out. I did do a lot of reading, and if you don't have an interest in kidney donation and transplants, then this might have all sounded like gibberish, but it's an important topic. So yeah, if you're watching on the playback, please like, share, and subscribe, especially if the algorithm brought you here and you have not been here before. If you want to throw something in the tip jar, my Cash App, well, or if you want to donate to the channel, that's a fancy way for saying donate to the channel. My Cash App and PayPal are below in the description box. Please consider joining the Big Words LLC newsletter. There are a lot of links in the description box for this one, but the newsletter is there as well. There's a greeting and a subscription button there at the bottom. And also, please check out the rest of my content here on this channel. I think someone did ask me about hepatitis. Apparently, the hepatitis infections are going up in our country, our society, our democracy, our constitutional republic. So hepatitis seems to be on the rise. So I'm going to look into that. I just published 2 pieces this week on the tech side. One dealt with machine learning. So I think that's going to draw engineering cannabis out. And the other one was about how to recover from when your business experiences a cloud disaster. So I think that one deals with if you have cloud storage, what happens and how do you recover from your cloud storage crashing or going offline or something like that. So those will be up next. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. If you're watching this on the playback, please leave comments underneath this playback. And let me know if you have questions or if you have just anything to say about any of this. So, geez, did I do it? I'm watching myself on the playback on YouTube. Did I do my attitude determines your altitude thing? I'm just kind of a little I just need to veg a little bit here. Okay, well, I'm going to do it again, just in case I didn't do it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Everyone stay safe out there. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.